So I want to welcome on the stage Miss Anita. Karibu.
Hands together for Anita.
And my very good friend Gilda given. Karibu sana.
There she goes, right to the stage. They are on their toes. We see them, huh? Looking good, ladies. So real quick, just tell us about yourself and what you do.
My name is Anita Msami. I'm a media planner at Ogilvy, Africa.
I'm Gilda Given. I do personal development training, and also I write articles, and both on mindset transformation. So I'm glad to be here, and thank you so much for Sahara Spark and Chiffon. It's an honor to be here. Very honored. Yeah.
So starting with you, Anita, tell us a bit about yourself and what you do. The journey to achieve what you do.
My story started a little bit weird because I was working at Vodacom as customer care. I remember not liking the job there. And I was like, do I need to still doing this or not? Then as I was thinking and thinking, then I was like, you know what? Let me just quit this job, be at home, and figure out what I want to do with my life. Then when I was still at home figuring out what I want to do with my life, first month passed, second month passed, I was like, ugh. Then I heard a friend of mine telling me, there's an opportunity at our office as a receptionist. I was like, do I want to be a receptionist? What's the difference between being a customer care and a receptionist, really? I'm just gonna be picking up calls, but something in me told me, Anita, just go and give it a shot. Just go and give it a shot as opposed to staying at home. Then I went. As I was sitting there as a receptionist, I was like, okay, I have a degree, I have a master's, I'm here picking calls. Is this worth it? Then something told me, just keep doing it, Anita. What are you losing, really, as opposed to staying at home? Then as I was picking calls, I remember my first experience picking the first call was horrible. Like, I picked a call, somebody's screaming. I'm like, oh my God. Then I was like, you know what? I'm resigning tomorrow. Then, as I was doing, the first week passed, the second week passed. Then I kept starting getting compliments. Oh, you're good at what you do. I'm like, but guys, you're saying I'm good at what I'm doing. I mean, do you know I have a degree and a master's and I'm picking calls here? Then the first month passed. Then an opportunity came just from nowhere. One of our bosses passed there and then was like, Anita, you cannot keep sitting at that desk doing that because I see potential in you. Come, I interview you for a job. I was like, a job where? I was like, here, but I don't want you to sit in that chair. Here I am again, going home, confused. Then I went for the interview, and the interview was good, and luckily I passed the interview. Then I got a job as a media buyer, not media planner, a media buyer. I remember looking at the system. The system was very complex. I looked at the system, the only thing I could see is numbers, like a lot of numbers. Like I'm looking at numbers, I'm like, what is this? Then I kept telling myself, why do I keep failing? Like the fear is now emerging. I'm like, can I tell anybody that I'm resigning again to the third job? Then I remember getting a very good advice from one of the mentors. One of my mentors at that time told me, Anita, relax. Just give yourself permission to look at those numbers. Just look at those numbers without doing anything. Just look at the numbers and relax. I'm giving you 3 days. If you look at the numbers and feel like you can't, for 3 days, just go to the office. You don't have a lot of work at this point, and look at the numbers. And if you 3 days, you look at the numbers, you look at the system and everything, and you feel like you are not getting anything, then resign. I remember the first day, the first day now going to do my practice of looking at the numbers. I'm like, okay, I need to relax. I'm learning something here. The second day, the third day, 1 week passed, second week, I was like, I am getting this thing. I am getting this thing. Then 3 months, 4 months, 1 year, 2 years, then it reached a point where I started loving the numbers. And I remember I am an F student from my background. My background is like an F student. I got F as a mathematics. Sitting here right now, being a media planner, taking an Excel sheet, doing it to the level that I also handle other markets is really a blessing to me. And I wouldn't be able to do it if it's not for consistency and patience and giving myself permission to fail. Yeah, that's my story.
Thank you so much, Anita.
She's so inspiring, Anita. Nice to meet you here. Okay, ready to listen to my story? Okay, I love encourage people. We have this to say, they say, if you don't have a story, you don't need to live. So we have a story and we need to tell a story. So I just remember my story started back when it was in 2017. It was the time I was in university and it was my last year. But I had these chances, like when I was in university, I used to attend this kind of different events. And I just remained just like going through different events, I met to raise Sahara Sparks. Sahara Sparks, it was really nice for the first time, but we understand university students. Actually, if you go to the event, you're going to eat, you're going to look for these beautiful girls, beautiful men, and just one goal, I need to find a scholarship. So I just remember the first time, it's like, Mr. Jumanne, he was the CEO of the Sahara Ventures. I was like, Mr. Jumanne, I just want to go and study abroad. So I followed him and tells like this and this and this. I don't even remember what's happened. So it was just like the first day. The second day, I found myself, I was alone. We were 3 girls, but I found myself I was alone. Why? They didn't come the second day because there's no food. We're there to eat. There's no food. So it's like I found myself, I was alone. So being alone, it's just like it impacts something to me. I was like, now it says like I have to be serious. What I'm going to do it here. So I was trying to experience people, they're giving some speeches, they give some pitching to their business. It's like, what are they doing here? I didn't understand what was really happening. So people, they distract me. I have to go back. It's like, what's really happening? It's the people, they're doing an amazing thing. And that was my first time to go and attend such kind of amazing events. So luckily enough, doing that, it's like you're going to start a journal. The second time, I just applied for the opportunity. It was run by Sahara Spark again, funded by the UNSPA, and there is where I started a journal to establish my first company known as Maisha Package. How many know as Maisha Package? Okay, nice. We're doing an amazing job. So, running Maisha Package from 2017, 2018, up to 2019 maybe, yeah, this year. But they say we have this kind of growth phases. You find us like, I had a chance to attend, I was awarded as a student, Global Student Entrepreneurship Award, so I have to go and pick up my awards in Canada. So going back is like following people there, I found people, they're doing amazing things. People, they're telling stories. And you can see themselves inside their story. I was like, I feel like I was doing something that is, I can't see myself. I can't see like I'm doing such great things. So that distracts me again. So going back home, just like coming back home, so I have to go through this process, go around, it's like I have to go. Doing that, it was like going around, find myself like, I supposed to do I jump here, I jump there. I was like, today I will find it's like, I'm in an application. Today you'll find it's like, I'm going to start this. Today you'll find it's like, no, Gilda given. You have to go back to yourself and find yourself, what do you really need in your life? There is where my genre I found myself. Just like I love speaking, I love writing, and I choose to be a motivation speaker, author, writer, and very upcoming big author in Tanzania in the coming futures. Thank you.
Woo!
You made a bold decision about leaving a business. How has that changed you in any way?
They says like if you're doing something, you have to go in different kind of phases when you want to grow. So actually, leaving a business is not an easy thing. It's hard. But they say if you have the vision on where you want to go. Back then, if you asked me, how or where do you see yourself in the coming 5, 10 years to come, I won't be able to answer that kind of question. But right now, if you ask me, if it happened, you ask me, how do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years to come? I'll be very happy to answer that kind of question. To see yourself in the coming, it means that you see your value, or maybe you see that this thing is very hard, but it's worth enough to do it. So even leaving a business, to me, it was a hard thing sometimes, but it was easy because I have a promise in the coming future. That's why I say it's like, when it's come to growth, you just understand that you have to take risk. We have different kind of risk, so it depends what do you define what kind of risk is. So you have to take risk. It depends what kind of risk is, and you go for it. I see it's very simple for me to do that.
Oh, good. We have questions. She says it's very simple for her to do that. Karibu with the question.
Thank you. My name is Rahma, and I have a question to you, madam. Normally, like what you explained, you took a job that was below your qualifications. And normally we have these tendencies as women and girls and many females, like we apply for a job that we think it's below, like we don't want to go too high because we lack confidence, or like some of women, not all of them. So what can you advise to a woman or a female or a girl who is looking for a job right now? What can you tell her? To take just a job or to aim higher, to reach higher? Because you started with a low-pay job, but you went higher. How did you achieve that, and what can you advise a female, a girl, and a woman?
Great question. Very great question. My approach to that will be two-way. You, as a woman, really, you have to define the objective. What is your objective? You can go in a two-way approach here. You can choose to sit at home and depend on whoever that you want to depend, really. But if you really have a dream, or rather a future, or rather you want to reach somewhere, you have to be able to say, okay, let me start somewhere. Somewhere will vary depending on who you are. For some of us, somewhere will be taking a lower job. For other people, it's bigger. But I think in our community, or rather our culture right now, it's very important to focus on what you want, you as a person. Because it's very easy to be lured by the social media, or to be lured by comparing yourself to look, oh, this is having this, so I cannot take this job because I'll be ashamed. How will people look at me? I'm doing this job. But really, it's about your life, really. If you look at it deeply, there are very few people that will deeply care about where you are in life. Others are just saying that to just reflect on their own fear. I don't think if I've answered your question very properly, but I think it's within you to decide where you want to be in life.
Microphone working? Yes. That's a powerful point. Somewhere means something to anyone.
Yes.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Thank you very much. Next question.
Thank you. I am Pascalia Anselimo, and I have a question to Gilda Given. You said you would love to be a public speaker someday to inspire youth or girls in general, right? But recently, many public speakers who are female do not notify themselves as public speakers. They just notify themselves as entrepreneurs, or maybe as I'm just doing something else, just public speaking. It's in a small package. So how do you want to address that to the society to change that mentality that you're a public speaker, and how are you going to notify yourself as a public speaker in the society of Tanzania?
Thank you so much for your question. Okay, I said I'm a speaker, actually a motivational speaker, but it says like, I write, I train on the personal development skills. So if you find us like most of the time who they are writers, authors, what they write, they want to explain to people so that they can be able to understand. So doing that is like, I choose to be a motivational speaker because I love to encourage people. I love people to see themselves in me. Because when you're doing these kind of things, we learn from others, we learn from different experiences. But when it's come to public speaking, anyone can do public speaking. So if you're presenting to the television, if you're giving a speech about something, you're a district councillor, or you are a CEO from Vodacom or wherever, there is where you're doing public speaking, even standing in front of people. But when it's come to trying to go in deep inside, they say that this is my job, or maybe this is something that I want to do, then you have something to catch you up. It's like you have a course. You cannot do just this like this, but you have a course deep inside. To my side, I can say, I'm an author, I'm a trainer. But doing that, I have to explain to people what do they want to know from me. So I have to do public speaking. Still, I'm a motivational speaker, author, trainer on personal development skills.
Thank you, Gilda. I'm loving the confidence. And in 10 years' time, I know you'll be addressing millions of people. Ladies, let's be this confident. The next question, Karibu.
Asante. I'm Umi Twaha. My question goes to Gilda. And if you were given a chance to turn back time, would you still take the same path that you have taken? And if yes, why? If no, then why too? I would like to know that.
Sorry, what kind of path?
The one we are taking right now, the motivation is speaking. Yeah.
So in case someone give me maybe a chance to do something else apart from this, no. Why? I just like, most of the challenge that I was facing back then, it's because I didn't know what I was standing for. If you don't know what you're standing for, what you're fighting for, what are the main things to focus on? As she said, Anita, you have to see yourself in something. You have to see yourself in that story. It's because it encourages you, it inspires you, and it gives you a way to go forward. So you have to have that kind of thing that makes you as like, I am on this. But by doing that, you have to understand yourself. If you understand yourself, you'll never ever go into this way, go into this way, go into this way. But if you understand yourself, it means you understand where your strength is, where your weakness is, and where to stay, where to stand, and not what to stand, what to fight and what not to fight. Understand what you want in life. It's very powerful things to have.
Thank you so much, Gilda. Can you guys please have a round of applause for these two powerful ladies? I would love to welcome.